adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. An unlike denominator are denominators that are different numbers. So, in the case of 1/5 plus 1/6, 5 and 6 are unlike denominators. So, the first thing you're going to do is draw a picture here to represent 1/5. So, I'm going to try to draw. Now, I'm going to use 4 lines to make my picture into 5 parts. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to go ahead and shade in my 1/5. So I shade in a 1/5. And I'm going to attempt to draw the same size picture for 1/6. And I'm going to use more lines because I need more pieces. I need 6 total pieces. So I'm going to use 5 lines. So because I need 5 lines, I'm going to draw it a little bit closer to the edge than what I did for 1/5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to shade in 1. Now this is a little bit hard to see because 1/5 and 1/6 are fairly close. But if you really look, you hopefully will be able to tell that 1/6 is indeed a little bit skinnier than 1/5. So when you have unlike denominators, it's hard to just say, oh yeah, I have 2, because you don't know if you have 2/5 or 2/6. So what you have to do is you have to find what's called a common denominator for both of the fractions. Common denominator is a number that's alike. It's a like denominator. And so what you want to do is break the pictures up into pieces that are the same in both of the pictures. And so I want to get the same denominator for both. So what you do is you go through and you find multiples for each of the denominators. So if I'm counting by 5, I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. It's good to at least do the first 6 multiples of a number. And then you can do the first 6 multiples of the next number. And if you don't find a common denominator or a common multiple, you can continue on your multiples until you find a common multiple. So if I do 6, I have 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, and 36. So I did 6 for each. And I know that I don't have to do more because right here I can see that both numbers have the multiple 30 in them. So what does that mean? That means that I'm going to attempt to break my pictures up into 30 parts, both of them, so that I'll have that common number and I'll be able to add them together. It'll give me an equivalent fraction for each of those. So for 1/5, I need to break that up into, so there's 30 pieces. And I know that if I have 5 vertical pieces of this shape, I know that I need to do 6 horizontal pieces the other way to give me 30. So I know in order to make 6, I need 5 lines going up and down. So again, I'm going to go a little close. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now I've just made 30 pieces in this one shape, and I see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them are shaded in, so that gives me 6, and I know that there's 30 total pieces. Now these 2 fractions are equivalent. I didn't change how much was shaded, I just broke the shape up into smaller pieces. Same for 1/6. I know that I have 6 vertical pieces of this shape, and I want to get 30. So I know that if I do 5 pieces that are horizontal, I'll get there. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I only had to use those 4 lines to get those 5 pieces. And as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shaded. So I'm I was trying to make room here. So I know that 1/6 is the same as 5/30. So both of these pictures are the same. They both have 30 pieces to them, and they both have 6 and 5 as a part of them. And so that's what common denominator looks like. So now I'm able to add 6/30 plus 5/30, and all together I'm just going to add my numerators. I have 11 pieces. If you count the shaded pieces, there are 11. And then I still have pieces that are in 30ths. So that's that. The same thing would apply for subtraction. So I'm going to quickly go through a subtraction one for you. So here I have 3/4 minus 2/8. So I'm going to draw. I'm going to make my fourths. I'm going to color in 3 parts of that. And then I want to take away 2/8, but the only problem is I don't have 2/8 to take away. So what I can do is break this picture up and sew that as eighths. So I'm going to do that now by using this green line here. That was pretty simple. I made one horizontal line through my 4 vertical spaces, and it gave me 8 pieces, 8 smaller pieces. And so now I can take away the 2/8, but I have to acknowledge what I have here. So instead of having 3/4 minus 2/8, I've changed 3/4 into now what is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 smaller pieces. 6 out of 8 pieces are now shaded in. So I now have 6/8, which is what that equals. And so now I can use 6/8 to subtract 2/8 from. And so 6/8 minus 2/8 is very much like the top. I'm going to take away 2 and then count what's left, which is 4. And that is adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators.